everyone, Osage Orange here, and welcome to another episode of doing some Midwestern Minecraft mining in a live stream. This is, of course, live stream number 12. I do appreciate everybody who has come out. I hope that your guys' time zone, whatever your guys' time zone is most wunderbar. So, of course, per normal, the agenda is, of course, dig let dig. I'm going to be doing the usual diggy stuff. That's got me thinking of the, saying the diggy there. That's got me thinking about the, doing the Clamave de Profundis video, diggy hole, and it's, I forget where that's off the top of my canopy, but I know that is a thing, so, you know, diggy hole. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole, diggy hole, digging a hole. I have to get that for you guys. Silly trees, of course, being silly. Let's see here. Get that. Get this. Let me get that video for you guys before I completely forget. Let's see here. There we go. Diggy hole, digging a hole. There it is. It's one of those things that, you know, I just said dig let dig, and canopy instantly went to diggy hole. And of course, you know, that's just there. Let's see, there's that. Let's get this going here, right there. Come on, Minecraft. Still waiting for Faithful to do an update. I checked earlier this evening, and they have not updated yet. So, anyhoozle, let me quickly de-armor here. And, boop, as said, I'm in winter outfit. There we go. Alright, so let's see. Got everything sorted there. It's mostly full. I need torches. Torches. Boop. Torches. Get yourself some torches, Twee. You cannot see. You're not like some critters of the night who come equipped with the means of being able to see in the dark. At least you couldn't do it without external, normally without external stimulation. In this case, light from a light source. Excuse me. So I did manage to get, oh, hello. Did manage to get some mining stuffs done off cam, so wunderbar. There's some copper right there. Going to daddy. I mean, technically I don't need copper, but there's more copper there too. I just keep, you know, it's one of these things where I keep going deeper and deeper. And is that more copper there? No, that is copper. I saw it in the vine. And iron. But yeah, I did get some mining done off cam, so wunderbar. Got a fish right there. It's iron here. I mean, copper. Yeah. Come back here and resurface. So I can get my air back. A little bit of lapis there. Saw somewhere. Saw somewhere a little bit of iron. I want to snag that before I... There it is. Not sure if I can't see if I couldn't get any more, if there was any more iron there. Lapis there. Surface. More iron. Not iron. Copper. Copper. Yep. See, with more illumination, it makes it possible to trace more of the stuff down, so... And I know I don't need to mine all this copper, I'm just going to take advantage of the situation. Oh. I mean, I am so overflowing in copper, it's no joke. It is no frickin' joke. Ooh, iron. There's literally no frickin' joke. Definitely, oh, hello. We got a little bit of a thing here. Copper. So it is literally no joke. Well, of course, I really wish, you know, that's one thing I gotta appreciate, you kind of gotta appreciate about what Mojang's done with copper is that, you know, they've made it realistic in terms of, you know, how the drop rates are to a degree in the game, sort of representing what copper and iron do in real life, and is that, you know, copper is far more common than iron, because realistically at least it is a lower elemental value. That is to say, that's its position on the periodic table is a lower number, copper that is, versus iron. God, is that? I'm trying to remember. It's let me see here. Go to the periodic table here. I'm trying to remember. Table of the elements. Yeah, copper is element 29, and iron. Oh wait, I thought iron is actually before copper. Iron is element 26, and copper is element 29. I thought it was reversed. I don't know why I was remembering it that way. Huh. There's that link. But, yeah. Yeah. Iron is element Fe, beryllium. Is Fe is 26. And copper, Cu, is 29. And, of course, silver and gold. If we've talked about me doing gold stuff, wanting to do gold stuff and having done some gold stuff. Gold is element 79, Au, beryllium. And then silver, argentum, is at number 47. There are... I've seen some things in my news feed on my phone recently about how God, what's the there's this one what am I thinking about? There's scientists have been trying to produce new elements past 118 osmium. Or what was it, osmium? Just a second. No, wait. Osmium's higher on the chain, I think. Gold! Let me see here. Let me pull that thing back up. Periodic table. Let's see. 118. Oh. Oops, I forgot to re-enable that, not my numlock. Ognacison. OG. It's a super heavy element. And thing that I'm trying, there's I remember reading some of that stuff in my, as I said, in my news feed, and oops. I think I forget what elements it is, but they're scientists have been using God, what was that element? They've been using several elements to help see if they can produce heavier elements. Titanium is one of them. That was it. That's the one I was trying to remember. It's like they're using titanium and some other element to try and 2, 3, 4 to try and start getting elements past, or at least start to develop a process to get elements past ognacin. And they've met with some initial success. It's been trying, but they've had some initial success in creating at least synthetic versions of heavy elements past 118. Now, a lot of elements in the past uranium, number 92, and some of the preceding elements to uranium, being radioactive, they'll decay over time to more stable elements, i.e., one of the krypton, lead, xenon, etc. And some of the elements in the higher range, like 118 and all that, Mines of Moria. they have incredibly short half-lives. Some of them, like in the upper 90s to hundreds, they're lucky if they can last a few seconds for scientists to be able to measure them. And in some cases, many of the isotopes last in the fractions of a second, you know, thousandths, tens of thousands, millions of seconds. I've been here. Oxalis. I heard some noise and it was like, oh, please don't let that be a mob. Hostile mob. But, yeah, they, set use guys free. But yeah, they, scientists are trying to get, you know, get some new heavy elements up and running so that we can help, you know, figure out the mysteries of the universe. Oh, hello. I knew that was there. I just forgot how soon it was. But yeah, it's, I find it interesting when, you know, scientists try to figure out, you know, some of the mysteries of the universe. I know that I love watching some of the, stuff that Kutzkazat has put out for their universe videos and all that. Yep. And it's just one of those things, you know. Getting stuff solved and all that. A lot of scientists have for years, you know, been pursuing fusion technology to help get us, because, you know, that's what the sun does, is it fuses hydrogen into helium, and then, of course, as it grows and evolves, it'll be fusing helium and into heavier elements, and it'll eventually will die. Have something to play with, guys. Have a piece of flint. Yes. More water. Knew this was coming. Or I should have known this was coming. Let's go ahead here. Quickly get our shulker boxes out. Boop. Yeah, all the science. Science. Oops. Goodness, we'll soon have this pool done. Won't have to worry about filling it in anymore. Oops. Would help if I had changed iron. Changed the position of my hotbar there. Come to daddy. Any more iron? No? Minecraft, you're a spoil sport. Don't try that on me, Minecraft. Minecraft, you are definitely a spoil sport. Here I am trying to get more iron, and you're taking it from me. There we go. Just gotta love it when the program tries to make you swim in ways that you don't want to swim. Like, let me up! Let me up! I'm just thinking back to this old thing I saw. Oh, got another. I forgot there was another pool there. Sigh. Essentially trading one pool for another. I remember this one thing I remember reading about. It was sometime like back in the 40s or 50s, late 40s into the 1950s. And there was this report that it was one of these things that, you know, things were became taken out of context sort of thing. And people were panicking because most people, you know, they either hadn't learned or they didn't remember the name, one of the names for water, which is oxygen dihydride. And so, you know, it was getting circulated in the news that, oh, there's oxygen dihydride in the water. And it's like, there's water in the water. And, you know, looking back on it, it's, you know, I find it a little bit comedic, you know, is that there's water in my water? How is that possible? Oh, wait a minute. Oxygen dihydride is water! All right. Let's go ahead here. Put down some torches. Yeah, very funny thing. There's water in my water! Or at least I find it funny. Oh, I just a sec, guys. I gotta get some BRB. Just a second. I realized I'd forgotten my liquid refreshment. All right, so yeah, there's water in my water. One of these slightly, you know, sort of a comedy of errors sort of thing, you know. Iron. talking about the copper, iron, gold, silver earlier. Makes me think back to in ancient Greek worldview. Part of the worldview had there was a golden age, a golden age, silver age, copper age, iron age. Basically, the sort of the world of the Titans. The era of the Titans was sort of a golden age for humanity and the gods, and that devolved to a silver age, and then the copper age, and finally, by the time we get to what the Greeks thought of as their time reference, their time frame, they thought it was an iron age of existence. Sort of had a similar thing with comic books. Was like the 1930s and 40s here in the States was considered the golden age of comic books. We're talking, DC, Marvel, etc. And all their superheroes, Iron Man, Captain America, other heroes, like the X-Men and or their equivalents, the Avengers, etc., etc., etc. And then, of course, that was succeeded by the Silver Age, and then finally, I think it's the Modern Age. I don't remember if there was a Copper Age or not. But I remember that there was, the Golden Age of comic books followed by the Silver Age. And all that fun times. What? There's iron up there. Hello. Come to daddy. What did I? It's no wonder I was like, why aren't I seeing any mobs in here? And I was like, duh, did I forget to re-enable difficulty? Yes, I did. I said it's always going to be a thing of mine. There's some more iron right there that I obviously missed. And some iron right here. Come to daddy. But, for me, it was having, seen this sort of stuff, this sort of worldview with all this stuff, various ages, for the Greeks or for comic books. It's an interesting thing how people can think, something can be, a former time can be, be a golden age. Ow. Ow. Some copper I missed too. Just quickly seeing if I can't sneak up a little bit more iron there. Oh, there's some more iron over here. Hello, hello, hello. See, we'll take the somewhat easier route here. Aha! Hello! Oh, and there's some coal there, too. Splash! Some more iron there. And, of course, I'm out of torches. Let's quickly park. There's a cave there. Quickly get torches, and let's pull out another stack of dirt. Iron there. I know I've talked about this before, how it's found in super big stars, stars a number of times the size of our sun. How they will, as part of their end part of their life cycle, they'll start, more iron. How they'll forge iron in their cores, and how it was very put by Kurzgesagt very succinctly as iron is nuclear ash. It has no more energy to give and cannot be fused. Now, confused by a star, yes. It can be created. In some ways, it can potentially be created through a star collapse, but it's more recent research within like the last decade or so has changed our understanding of stellar evolution, and it's thought that by many that these days a significant source of heavier elements beyond iron is forged when two neutron stars collide. Of course, when a big star collapses in a supernova explosion, it can take one of two routes. It can either A, collapse into a black hole, or if it's just slightly lighter, it will become a neutron star. And if there were two neutron stars in close proximity, we're talking, of course, probably within the same, for example, a binary star system, for example. If they, both became neutron stars, both stars in the system, they could eventually merge and themselves form a black hole. But as part of that, their stellar evolution in the whole view of stuff. Let's see here. Put that there. Put you here. Put that there. Go away, Flint. Bloody Flint. I hear you, Zen. Oh! We have a spawner! We have a spawner. Huzzah. And an Enderman's been down here, too. Got a dirt block. Well, since we have a Zambit spawner system already, we'll just break that guy to bits. But, so when a star collapses, so to explain neutron stars, when a neutron star forms, basically, when it's as said, it's not quite as, a star has to be, not have sufficient mass or material to form a black hole. It has to be somewhat lighter for an easier explanation. It has somewhat less mass. And so when the star collapses, basically what happens is the three fundamental particles of atoms, which are protons, electrons, and neutrons, they basically get squished together into a space that is equivalent, all the atoms, all these particles get squeezed into a space, the equivalent of the nucleus of an atom itself. Because normally, of course, neutrons and protons are at the core of the nucleus, where the electrons, while attracted to the protons, because electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, neutrons are neutral, neither positive nor negative, they still have a certain amount of repulsion between them. They like being close, but not being too close. You know, it's like having a good friend, but not having them like family, sort of thing, would be the analogy. And so, so we got some strings, seeds, we got pumpkin seeds, strings, redstone, saddle, piece of coal, bone. Got a name tag there. Definitely want to take this stuff home. So, let's quickly, excuse me, reorganize. Snag chests. Look, Ma, I'm a drummer. Yeah, I always like doing that little thing. But anyway, back to the neutron star stuff. The come on. The so yeah, the electrons, neutrons, and protons get squeezed together very tightly. And because, of course, even though there are various small forces at work... Oh, hello. Glad I came back. Glad I didn't spend so much time that iron despawned. But, because, of course, there's more iron up there. I want it! Because, of course, the electrons and protons are oppositely charged, they essentially, when they get squished together, they merge and become neutrons. Ergo, part of why a neutron star is called that is because they, I hear you, Zambit. I'm gonna scamper while the scamper time is good. They get squished together and become neutrons, and which is why, therefore, neutron stars are in part called that, because they have far less protons and electrons than they had when they were at an earlier stage in stellar development. And so there are still protons and electrons in addition to the neutrons, but there's, as I said, there's just a whole heck of a lot less of them. Oh, is that iron? There's just a whole heck of a lot less of them. And so when two neutron stars merge, because they have so many neutrons in them, that's in the process of merging and then becoming a black hole, because of course they have sufficient mass that it becomes, you know, a point of infinite gravity that the black hole forms, that as the material comes together, the atomic particles reorganize, and that helps explain some of the elements that we find in the universe. Many of the bigger elements, i.e. uranium, have a lot of... There's iron... Jeez Louise, tree. Complaining about not finding enough iron to do your construction projects, And you're now finally finding some of the iron you need. Ah! It's easy at times to forget. That there's this whole system up here. This whole water-filled cave. Let's see here. Just gonna go ahead and quickly do this. Slow down. Where, there it is. It's like, I know you're here somewhere. Where did I see that on? Come on. Come on. But anyway, going back to our thingy, it is thought that these days... Wait, did I... Going up the wrong thing, aren't I? Hurt. That should be the pillar I'm looking for. Let's... Yep, there it is. There it is. It's now thought these days that the merger of neutron stars has contributed a lot more than was previously thought to the creation of heavier elements, i.e. uranium. Come on. Those moments where you know you gotta build up your own little what's it there? Yep. Come here, jerk. I'm gonna make use of ya. This copper. What the? I tapped into a previously and this previously dry area now. Ah! I see somewhat dry area. Lapis. Iron, come to daddy. Of course, I managed to successfully mine my way out. Huzzah! Here I am. I'm having to parkour to stuff, and of course I could just take the easy way. So yeah, it's thought more these days that neutron star mergers have contributed a lot more than was previously thought to the creation of heavy elements, i.e., as said, uranium and other elements. So we can get a little bit of illumination. It's not to say that a supernova explosion wouldn't forge heavy elements, because, of course, the stressors are there for such an event. You know, huge amount of gravitational force, the violence of a supernova explosion going boom, that sort of thing is would be a good reason to make at least some bigger elements besides beyond iron. You know, even if you still have a fair amount of even just hydrogen and helium lying around in the outer parts of the star, you know, that is a good source of essentially raw materials. Uh-oh. Slap happy slime. I heard that. I've never been, of course, one to always go mining after all the blocks just to have all... Ah! What the? Did not mean to do that. Iron! Iron, iron, iron! Daddy! Give me my iron! We wants it. We needs it. Must have the irons. Jeez Louise, that's got me thinking about how in the Two Towers, how Gollum and Smeagol had their little chat about needing the precious. Oh my god. I can't believe I just thought about that. There's recent video by Heiss where he got shown, for any of you who know of the East Broadtop Railroad, he a while back, the equivalent of a couple months back, he was able to go to this event where they were able to try out a number of whistles from various steam locomotives. And, oopsies. One of the whistles that was found to be in attendance was from East Broadtop number 11. And Jersey Central 833 was is one of Heiss's biggest fans. He wants to rebuild EBT number 11, and when he got informed by Heiss, it's like, yeah, I've got EBT 11's whistle. Jersey went bananas, saying, I want it. Jeez Louise, I hate tapping into the previously dug out areas and having to patch the holes I accidentally make. So yeah, Jersey just went crazy. And the part that Mark shows, Heiss, shows that he has EBT-11's whistle. He very much says it's like Gollum getting the precious. Let me see here. Let me get that video for you guys. So, let's see. Heiss. There we go. I'll get you. See if I can't get you the specific. Come on. Come on. Okay, that should be a significantly good timestamp. Let's see, I'm looking for the share. There we go. He also got to show off his own whistle, the Huber 6 chime. That's a video you could just do. Search on his channel. Heiss whistle or Huber 6. And so basically, Mark had an adventure to make that whistle. Well, on the video at hand, what happened was when Mark got the 6, not the 6, the see, I'm actually gonna need get some more torches. And when Mark got the EBT's 6 chime, 3 chime, he had this look on his face. He had accidentally left his GoPro in a frame rate of 400 FPS. So he had this, and he deliberately said, finding. I look like I am Gollum, Gollum getting the precious. So, and then of course when he told Jersey about it, Jersey was thought. Oh, and let me get you a link to Jersey stuff too. He has both a YT channel and a Twitch channel. Let's see. On his Twitch, let me get you guys his. Let's see. I actually have to go to YouTube to query it. Google results aren't coming through like they should. They get there we go. There we go. All right, Here is Jersey's YouTube channel. There is his Twitch channel there, so check those out at your leisure. I only watch him whenever he's live. I only get to watch him every now and then, so it's a very, very rare bit that I actually get to watch him do like a live stream or anything like that. But there is a slap happy slime nearby. And there's the aforementioned slap happy slime. Ah! Did not mean to put that dirt block there. It's my hope that for next May, Colorado crossings, I'll get to actually... And the slime has seen me. Go on over, dude. Smack. Smack. Ow! That hurt, you jerk. You slap happy jerk. Give me your slime balls. Some redstone there. It's always fun to see, you know, a mob get cut underneath while swimming, a mob get caught underneath a block like that. Yeah, I'm hoping to get to meet Mark and friends, well, Mark specifically, and of course his and Leighton as well. I got to meet, as I said, I've got to meet Brett, Dusty, and Goose while I was at the museum. I saw that guy right there, and I thought it was Cole, but there's some iron here. Another mine through the floor here. Open up the ceiling there. Moment. Sort of squid take some pain there. What? I thought I saw some iron over there. I was like, wait, what was that? Oh, nothing. Nothing. Yeah, I'm just hoping to be able to meet Mark and Leighton this time, in addition to getting to see Brett and Dusty again. Hopefully Goose, too. I still remember, you know, when I first saw Brett at the museum and how he was doing his one of his tasks there in the roundhouse, and he was standing in front of DNRGW 491. And when I first saw him, you know, I'd been looking toward the turntable, of course, and I saw him, and it was in my brain, in my canopy, went, oh my God, it's a quarter of an idiot. Hi, Brett! And he went hi back. And just, you know, the fan part of me was like, he said hi back! Hooray! There's torches there. Yeah, that was, you know, I always knew that there was a probability that, not that, I always knew there was a probability that I would not get to meet Mark when I was at the museum, and of course that's what happened, so, you know, that's, after getting to see, you know, I got to see Brett and got to physically go talk to him close up, and I said, hey, Brett, or Mark and Leighton, bloody gravel. More there, no more there. It was like, so yeah, are Mark and Leighton going to be here today? And it was like, unfortunately, they have IRL things they're doing. So that's why I said, well, if you were to relay Mark a message, tell him that Osage Orange Gaming, that's me, says hi, and he said, I will. I got to shake his hand. So that was easily the highlight of the second day of being at the museum. So go away, Flint. Yeah, I still remember when my eyes saw him, and I thought, oh my God, it's a quarter of an idiot. That is, it's one of these things. Oh, Ion. It's one of these things that, you you've seen someone online, you know what they look like. You've seen photos and or videos. And then, boom, you get to see them in real life. And it was like, I know this person. Or at least you know of them. So that's why I'm looking forward to being able to go back for Colorado Crossings next May. Which will happen, fortunately, tends to coincide with my spring vacation. So I'll just, as soon as I know the dates for that event, it's usually sometime mid to late May, as soon as I can both know the dates and put in the request for vacation, it's like, do it. Do it. Don't forget that coal. Come to Daddy. Well, I've been smelting stuff in the smelter. Ion! Lately, it's a case of, yes, I needs the iron. I needs the iron, but I needs the coal too. So, yeah, that's a thing. So, excuse me. Okay. I hate when I put a shulker box at an odd angle and I can't get into it. Because how am I able to get into it? How can I get to the looted side if I can't access it? Silly twee. Hoping that after next week's Midwestern Minecraft Mining Livestream will be the bookmarker episode for the time being, because a week from tomorrow, Monday, will be derp. Just so long as I don't have more derp. Oh, it's White Cat. It's White Cat. Yes, sec. He wants out. He's been laying on my bed, and now he says, "Let me out, Tree Daddy. Let me out." So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to be able to do that at some point. Unlike back this past June, when I crunched the numbers, I figured I wouldn't be able to have enough money to make sure I had some coverage for stuff, and to be. Oh, I think I've been down here. I think, yeah, I have. Wasn't sure. It was one of those moments of that looks lit up enough to me, but I'm not sure. But yeah, when I crunched the numbers for my trip back in June, I was like, yeah, I won't be able to go to both Denver and take a ride over the Durango and Silverton, but I am planning as soon as I'm going to try to start soon. Try to start sooner, of course. I definitely plan on, definitely once the holidays get over, definitely start just doing what I can to save money. I've got several ideas. Stop it, mouse. I hate it when my mouse does this. I think I need to clean my mouse up, my wheel there. But definitely by the time I get done with doing some holiday stuff, you know, getting... Ooh, hello. Been here before, it looks like. Yep. And there's some copper there. Hurt. Definitely once holidays get over and all that, gonna definitely need to start really saving some money to be able to go on that trip. Because I've done some looking at the DNS site, Durango and Silverton site, because you know, that for the rides, you know, you have to pay a certain amount of money to make the trip. But of course, you know, what is it's part, of course, going through reality, what actually happened in the past, you know, when rail transport was the significant mode, significant mode of transportation back in the day, both here in the States and elsewhere in the world. And as it is today in some parts, you know, like in Japan, there's the Shinkansen, which translate, we here in English, in the States at least, we call it the bullet train. But Shinkansen more accurately translates as new trunk line, or new main line. And it's, of course, high-speed travel, so that was one of the big selling points back in the 60s? I think it was the 60s. When the Shinkansen first opened, that you could go from Tokyo to Kyoto, or vice versa, or even make just a trip from one of those two cities to the other and back in time for dinner, you know, for a business trip. Is that you could literally have traveling at in excess, I think it's these days, it's like 300 kilometers an hour in some places. Or something like that with the most modern equipment. I think that's right. That's what I'm remembering. Let's see here. Pull up the thing here. Here we have, of course, Shinkansen. Yeah. New main line. Yeah, it's speed has lines with maximum speeds of 260 to 320 kilometers per hour, 160 to 200 miles an hour. And the mini Shinkansen lines have a top speed of 130 kilometers per hour, 180 miles per hour. So it is a case of, you know, if you are able to go from Tokyo to Kyoto, you know, for a businessman, of course, you know, more modern technology has made that kind of less desirable with you know, teleconferencing these days, especially given that Japan is a very highly industrialized and technologically advanced society. But at the same time, part of me, if I ever got to go to Japan, I'd want to ride the Shinkansen. I'd want to go, 320 kilometers an hour. Part of me has always wished we here in the States weren't still stuck on the imperial system. I mean, yeah, it's what I'm used to, but at the same time, there are times where there's 1,000 millimeters to the meter, 1,000 meters to the kilometer, 1,000 milligrams to the gram, 1,000 grams to the kilogram. The math compared to the imperial system for the metric makes a heck of a lot more sense. $12, $13, $14, $15, $18. Okay, 18. I remember seeing years and years ago when I was a young tree, a friend of ours that lived in a different parts of the Treelandia region. They had cable. They chose to have cable, and the dad of the family, he knew that me and to a lesser extent Treebro were into trains, and so he did I forget the name of the program, but it was like they covered some history of trains, and part of what they covered was the Shinkansen. And that's cool. It's always so cool when they make when a content comes out about about trains and all that, and it makes for fun things. Speaking of fun train stuff, going back to my trip, not so ironically, we're steering back to Heist. It was just released earlier today. It was released since YouTube members. He has Heist has YouTube members for his channel. Let's see here. Aha! There we go. So, one of the things that part of what made me choose to go the week I did for vacation, it was one of these cases where, see what's going on with the CRRM. And so anyway, the week I chose to go, they were covering kitchens on the railroad. And so what happened is that I got to visit, as part of this particular tour at the museum, got to visit Chicago, Quincy, and Burlington Railroad business car. Let's see, CB&Q business car number 96. And the video that Heist just released for the general public, like I said, me being one of his channel members, I got to see it Saturday, and I made sure to comment on it. Is that he goes over this particular business car, and I was like, when I saw I was like, that looks very familiar. And of course, I had reason to know it was very familiar because my tour went through that car. And I was, holy hedge apples, I was in that car! One of those things of, he did a video about a particular car, and, I was in that car! Yeah. nerding out, as it were, about, you know, a car that I got to take a tour of. And, oh, hello. Here at the end of this one, so put that there. And, it was totally worth it. And I actually, you know, our tour guide, I forget his name, he was an older gentleman. He knew Mark, so it was a case of some of the stuff we got to talk about some of the once we got to the end of our tour. We got to, and we were looking at as we were going around, we got to talk about some of the other cars in proximity to CB&Q Business Car 96. One of the things I got to talk about was the couplers for what the. Obviously, I use that to get up there, so I'm just going to take that dirt back and fall into the thing. We got to talk about couplers, the couplers video that Mark did, Heiss, and I said, you know, I got to show some of my fellow attendees of the tour, you know, it's like, you know, here's what you could do. I showed them how they did. A lot of people, there are some people that call them Janey couplers after Eli Janey, who developed the first knuckle coupler, or was one of the people who helped develop it. And basically I got to explain, and they also showed about link and pin couplers. And so I got to, you know, I was just tapping into that knowledge I had. It was like, here's how this stuff goes. Let's see. Have I missed any Yes, I have. Did I miss any other diorite? Just making sure that I didn't miss any other diorite. It's a good thing I vented my cargo chess mine cards pre-stream. That was one of the things I was making sure I got done. And so anyway, I got to explain about, you know, tapping into that knowledge I'd learned. You know, say, you know, this is, you know, the knuckle coupler is a little bit more efficient and safe. It's a lot more efficient and safe coupling versus a link and pin. Let's see. And that's, of course, you know, a big safety thing. From what Heiss said in that video, you know, a running gag amongst brakemen was you could always tell a new brakeman was the fact that he had all his fingers, because having the link and pin meant inevitably at least one, if not more, fingers are going to get squished. And of course, you know, that's, you know, not easy for the brakeman. You know, you need your fingers in order to do your job. Is that? Oh, that was. I saw the coal. I saw this stack of coal right there, and I thought, is that a bunch of flint that I don't need? Lol. And there's a thing of iron I missed. Another thing. So yeah, it's taking the kitchen tour is, you know, is what you know, it was the Friday of the 2 days that I went. Friday and Saturday, that was the first day. It was on, of course, on the second day that I got to meet Brett, Dusty, and Goose. It was after I know I've already told this story, but it's, for me, it's always worth retelling. Is you know, I went to the roundhouse, got to push the turntable around a little bit with the volunteer that was there. and got to see Brett. And as I said, I saw him standing in front of DNRGW 491, in front of Peaches, as the crew affectionately has nicknamed her. And I saw him. He was doing one of his things, but it was one of those moments where he was in between tasks or doing part of his tasks, and I went, "Oh my God, it's a quarter of an idiot." Hi, Brett. Of course, when they're the running gag for Heist and his friends is whenever the air compressor at the CRM roundhouse just this little psh, some sort of venting thing. The running gag for them is shouting 7. So I was talking to the volunteer who let me do the turntable. Push the pole. It's an Armstrong turntable. Basically, it's got a pole on each end on one side of the table, and you can push it to where you basically are able to turn the turntable manually. And so that you could even have, 491, a multi-ton locomotive, you could just easily push the thing all by yourself. And so, as I said, I was just talking to him, stuff after getting to push the turntable. And the air compressor sneezed. And so, as soon as it finished sneezing, I went, 7! Oh, bloody frickin' gravel. Bloody frickin' gravel. Okay, there we go. Finally. Finally. I know. More gravel. More bloody gravel. To make sure that we get all the gravel harvested. That way we can eventually get our loot deposited. Good enough for now. But yeah, going back to the story. We keep getting distracted by stuff. The air compressor sneezed, and I instantly went, 7! And I said, I said it kind of very loud and sharp like that. And then I said to the volunteer, sorry about that, but Mark and friends, whenever the air compressor sneezes, they shout 7. And just a second after that, Brett, presumably having heard it too, said 7. So I had a little fun with that, getting to shout 7. Let's see here. Let's get our difficulty quickly back to peaceful. And you, piece of bloody flint, can go bye-bye. Boop. Yeah, it was just fun. I was like, it was very instantaneous, too. I needed no prompt. It just went, psh, 7! I wasn't expecting it to sneeze when it did, but, literally the instantaneous nature of just shouting 7 as a result of the compressor sneezing just came naturally. It came naturally. Alright. Oh, I want that stack of cobble because it stays with me, because it will form a new thing. Chuck the bloody gravel in there too. Alright, let's see here. You. Chuck in. Chuck in. Chuck in. Let's give it a quick OCD check there. So I'm going to put all these guys in there. Yeah, that was part of me found that fun to just go 7. Said I am literally. I mean, technically, I don't have to worry about mining for copper anymore, but I'd rather mine the stuff, and you know, it's like it is literally. I'm gonna have so much copper blink. It's gonna be ridiculous. Let's see here. We need 2 more stacks of torches and 2 more stacks of dirt. So 1, 2, 1, 2, boom, 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 boom. Go ahead and take that stack of clay back, as I prefer to do. I've always thought that if part of me, the more adventurous part of me wouldn't mind moving to Colorado. Quickly mute the desktop audio there, so I'm not having to talk over the loud minecart. But you know, it's like how I started this particular series, you know, with that quote by John Muir, "The mountains are calling and I must go." Because for me at least, having the hustle and bustle of city life, it's a challenge. It is indeed a challenge. And it's not that I don't fault the hustle and bustle of city life. Just part of me feels that, let's see, can I find a place to put this bloody stuff? Oh. Huzzah. There we go. It's not that I don't fault the hustle and bustle of city life. I just, at times, you know, there have been times, primarily with the working at Tree Scout Camp, some of them, one of the ones has been, was in a more urban setting, but most of them have been, you know, set out farther afield from a city. And the last one I remember, the last one that I worked at, we got through our last session, and we got done early, you know, packing up camp and all that, you know, getting program areas and campsite equipment and all that jazz all put away where it's supposed to be. And we sort of had a little bit of a closing campfire, but for staff. And one of the things that I remember saying to my compatriots was, you know, it's like, you know, it's, you know, one of the things I've always liked working summer camp staff is, you know, yeah, I live in an urban area, and excuse me, apologize for that. People are rude. Anywho, um, so as we, each person was allowed, this was, in this particular case, was a somewhat smaller camp, so a little more familiar with some of the people I worked with. But, everybody got to have those who wanted to could say a few words, and most people did. And so when it was more or less, when I took the opportunity to speak, I said, having living in an urban area, or at least a semi-urban area, sort of a urban, suburban, whatever you want to call it, having the chance to get out of the hustle and bustle, even, in a smaller city, obviously it's not going to be, something like the size of New York City or Chicago or LA or Seattle or something like that, being out here in the Midwest. There are going to be, smaller cities, like St. Louis, Kansas City, Omaha, Oklahoma City, places like that. Well, those are just a few examples, I'm telling you guys for reference. It was, more of the smaller urban areas. Getting a chance to be out away from the urban area is always a joy, because you get away, you get to enjoy the slower life. And if I were to move to Denver, I'd be able to, be able to have a little bit of that same sort of joy, I'm thinking. Now, I'd obviously have to live in the metropolitan area, because, I wouldn't want to have to, unless I got a remote job, and I've seen some drama on that sort of stuff lately. With a number of companies requiring people to return to office, RTO, instead of work from home sort of thing. And so let's quickly, just going to put that right there so I have my marker. But, it wouldn't be that hard in a number of ways to go out into, say, for example, go out to, like Georgetown. I went to the Georgetown Loop Railroad to learn about the history, and part of me wouldn't mind, if I were to, do that sort of thing. I think I'd probably want to move to Georgetown. Now, yes, it would be a touristy sort of thing to do. Oop, iron. It is a big tourist attraction. I've explained that before. But, I would, quite honestly, would want to, go live out in that sort of area. If I were to do that, it wouldn't be too hard to go, north, west, or south of Denver to go out and do something out in the wild. I've done that even here in Treelandia. There have been several times where I've mentioned, getting to go either by myself or with family or friends, going out on doing some stuff out in essentially the plains sorts of stuff. And I've met some people, through work or whatever, and they're always going, and you always hear about these people who are always go, 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 go. They're always working about their next big thing, or their next big project, whatever it is they're wanting to do. Let's see. And for me, at least, I get it. But at the same time, you just can't always do that sort of thing. You always can't do that sort of thing. You've heard, I'm certain people have heard these tales of, about people, they're always doing being in the fast lane, trying to get money so that they can be, they're rich and successful. It's like, there are more ways to be successful than measuring how much money you make in a year, what your position is within a company, etc., etc., etc. There is a certain need for that. But to let that dictate your life? One of my former managers at the grocery store that I worked at, he was very much a company sort of man. And, there were times that, especially if he was under a lot of stress, it could, 3 gravel. I hate when I do that. And there would be times where, the littlest thing could, piss him off. A minor boo-boo, could literally get this guy in mode. And he was obviously a company man. Apparently, he had been, from what I remember, he had been a manager in one form or another in the grocery industry for quite literally years. And, in my opinion, that made him a little self-righteous, shall we say. I don't like those sorts of people. Just because you've been doing job in a position of leadership for a long time doesn't mean that just because you've been doing that for a long time doesn't mean that you think you know me better than I know myself. Because I unfortunately had to I crossed paths with that angry version, with that pissed off version of him several times, to one degree or another, and I was like, you manager, you need a reality check. I hate those sorts of people. Well, I shouldn't say hate, but unfortunately, this, sort of, some people, he would probably call it a little bit of a misnomer, as calling him, saying, calling him that, and I was like, no, it's accurate. Part of me finds it very, very accurate. And then another manager I've had is very much dedicated to his job, and that I've had the experience of having to deal with, and again, it vexes me. It's like, how can you think that this is all there is? How do you think that, you being in a this managerial position, why do you think that that's all there is? It's one of these things that it's confusing in a number of ways. There we go. Is that you think that doing work, so it's all work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy, sort of thing. And, honestly, I don't get why these sorts of managers think that, their work is their life. I get that work is important. You need to pay the bills. But to let it consume your life to have it, let it take you over and let it. I thought I saw something weird over there on those blocks and just past that second torch there, and I was like, what the heck was that? And I was like, oh, it's just the blocks. First, I thought it was a weird form of a blaze. Speaking of that, there we go. Oops. Look at that. And honestly, you know, to let your, you know, if it, you know, I would, you know, if it were my business, you know, I would have to have that sort of attitude. You know, I would have to have that sort of attitude because, you know, work to make my business succeed. I would have to. And, or at least something akin to it. And I do have a little bit of that attitude when it comes to content creation. Mostly because, hey, you know, I just heard a glow squid there do its little sound effect there. Yep. But at the same time, having to do IRL work, I know that there are times where I have to go take care of myself. You know, it's not going to do me any good content creation-wise to let myself get an ill health. And that's why several times of late, up till somewhat recently, you know, I haven't been streaming at all on normal stream days. And of late, of course, I've been having to push back stream days because, you know, I'm just not getting the sleep I need. Work is hard. Work is very hard. I would rather, honestly, if I was more financially secure, I am not. I would, you know, I would go content creation full time. I would love to do. I would love to do that. Because there is just so much I would like to do. I've been toying around in my canopy. Stretch. Of wanting to do some more in different games. Unfortunately, it would be very, very hard for me to be able to do that. There are times where I find myself thinking, it's like, I'm just even lucky to do what I can do. And, honestly, I'd like to do more. As you know, when you have to go out and do IRL stuff, let's see here. Oh wait, we'll need that dirt actually. Let's see here. Oops, trying to do that. Oops. You know, when you're trying to, when you have to do work and you have to, you know, like I said, I know I work a physically demanding job at Home Depot, and in some ways I don't need to go to the gym after work, but at the same time, I'm the sort I like to read. And even though I work that physically demanding job, having the chance to, exercise, sort of use it as a little bit of means to cool down. It's stress relief. That's what exercise does. Is that it's just like in that CGP Grey video, Spaceship You, during the early days of the pandemic. Is that for your doing your mental and emotional health for your of course. This is why I bring a bed. This is why I bring a bed. For your doing your mental emotional health. It's doing on the mental side is a little bit, ooh, gold. Well, we got a drown nearby. I hear that gurgling. I hear you there, drowned. It's actually sounds very close. There he is. Hello. Die, you jerk. But going back to CGP Grey, there is like, it's like trying to deal with both your physical and. Wait a minute, is that all the way up to the surface? We in the ocean? We're in the. Oh my God, we're in the river. We're in the freaking river. Base is over that way. If you go right round, squirreling around that way, leads you straight back to base. Holy heck. Coal. But yeah, CGP Grey in his video would say, mental and physical health, trying to get the motivation to do stuff prime with the physical. It resets your stuff a lot more easily. Your system gets far more easily reset that way. No. And so, yeah, that was one of those things. That's one of those sorts of things that actually makes a heck of a lot of sense. And, that for me, especially if I've had a long night of stuff, and if it's been particularly stressful, doing the physical exercise, actually does help. Actually does work. Oops. And, I might be a little, obviously when I leave, I might be relieved that it's like, yay, work's over. But part of me, might still be antagonized for whatever reason. And so by having the chance to go to the gym after work actually is a lot better. Helps my physical health out. So it's usually for me, about between the length of work and, spending in transit and being at the gym, it's usually about 11 to 11 and a half. It's about 11 hours. 11 to 11 and a half hours. And so, that's 55 hours a week. I would love to. I hear you down there, Glow Squid. I've seen water there. Probably at some point we'll... Ah! Hate when I do that. Let's go ahead here. We'll... Ah, there's right, and there's the glow squid. There's the glow squid I was hearing. Hello, boys. His buddy obviously despawned. I was like, where'd you go? Where'd his buddy go? Oh, he despawned. Duh. Oh, yeah, it's good for my health that I actually do it. As much as I may want to, you know, just go straight home and do and game and all that. I know it's actuality a lot better for my physical and mental well-being to do this, to go to the gym. And we're done. Huzzah! Ah, hate when I do that. Iron! Leads straight. Me doing a done goof led straight to iron. Weird little bit right here on this little bit of deep slate. Saw that and I was like, what is that on the deep slate? Ah, that was it. It was just some of the texture rendering there. But, you know, there are just so many people who are so hyped up about their careers that, oops. They don't understand that, expecting someone like me to just, you know, be as gung-ho about getting, you know, being 100% awesome all the time is just, yeah. Of course, some of the lazy arses at work would say, oh, you're being just like a manager. And then it's a case of, in this case, you know, it's not quite that true. It's a case of some of these lazy arses, they're doing barely enough to even do the job. And mentally, I'm going, why are you working here if you're not really wanting to... If you only want to put in not even the bare minimum to help get the job done, because, you know, working retail, the only way to really make money is to, make, you know, to make sales. And there's a creeper over there. Is that? No, that was something else. Look at that. Those Skelly and that creeper over yonder taking a swim. But yeah, it's, come on. Yeah, some of these people just don't seem to get it that, you know, they're working retail, that in some ways they had better work hard. Because, you know, job security. I know that working on freight team, you know, in some ways I have a very good job and it's quote unquote secure because, you know, of course I know things could always change, but it's always, you know, freight's got to be done. We sell product for people to improve their houses and all that. So if there's nothing on the shelf for people to buy, don't make sales, don't have a job. And I don't think you know, some people who would be in that sort of managerial position would say, you know, Trey, you're not working hard enough. And it was like, And I'm like, dude, do you know how physically demanding this job is? Mentally demanding, emotionally demanding. There are some people that I could do more in an hour, do more work, equivalent work in an hour than they would do in a whole 8-hour shift. And you're complaining about me? Get these lazy arses to work so that we can to make our freight team lives easier. Oh, oh, it is time for us to take a break. So let's go ahead here, guys. Go ahead and stand up, stretch, go get something to eat, go get something to drink, use the restroom, and I'll see y'all here in a few minutes. Okay, guys, Tree is back. Sorry it took me a few extra minutes there. With me running some um, errands earlier today. This had me really moving around and all that jazz. So I felt the need to move around a little bit more, and I'm gonna finish up. Ow, my trunk. Oh my goodness, I just managed to pop some of my trunk. It both hurts yet feels so good. Oh, yes. Oh, enough talking about um, stuff that brings down past vacation. I wish I could be on past vacation and work and all that. Let's talk future vacation. I got a vacation coming up here in a few weeks, but yes, the inevitable BUTT. I'm gonna be making it a staycation this time. Mostly to save, mostly in part because I just want to take some time, be at home, relax. Hopefully, part of the plan will be to include some extra streamage with all this, because of course, I'm not going to be at work. I'm just going to have that time, having paid vacation, get some time to do some of the stuff that I really want to do, which in this case would be more stream stuff. That would be a nice little thing. And but I do have some plans for stuff. One of the things I'm planning on doing is, I know that I mentioned doing stuff like a couple weekends back. I did, was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend. Yeah, it was last weekend. Nope. Almost went splat there, guys. Almost went splat. Last weekend, how I went out with Tree Mom and a couple friends of ours, both hers and mine. We went to a local winery, and we had some fun getting to do a little bit of sampling, and just basically got to have, we hadn't gotten to be with these friends of ours in some time. And so, it's usually because, of course, oh, hello there, Grapple. Usually it's, of course, because work and all that, mostly for me and the other younger people, sorts of things. But my mom's friend is also, they keep themselves busy in retirement, doing other stuff. But, so we had fun doing that, but I'm going to make a little bit of a similar sort of thing. A little day trip to one of the nearby communities. And they've got, see, how much? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14. But there's one of the nearby towns has got some museums, and I've been there a number of times. And to this neighboring town, and I found myself thinking, one of my coworkers informed me about this one particular museum there, and I was like, and they told me about this stuff. I was like, oh, that just sounds right up my alley, coworker. Thank you for letting me know. And so I got a look-see at it, and I saw that there were several other museums in this neighboring town that I was like, oh my god, I hadn't either been there in a while or I hadn't heard of them. And I was like, you know what? That would make a good day trip. So I had the thought of taking the opportunity to do a day trip. You know, literally go visit some places that I had never heard of or been to before. And literally go get to do some fun in literally my own backyard. So that is a thing I'm going to be doing as a part of my staycation. Is make fun. Is make some fun. And it's a case of, you know, it's not going to be, you know, not like going to Denver. You know, I'm not going to have to worry about shelling out the equivalent of money, you know, lots of money. But the money I did spend on my Denver trip, totally worth it. Totally worth it. But it's a case of literally getting to do something in my own backyard. And I'm currently formulating a few other IRL sorts of things to do as well on this sort of theme of making a staycation, but sort of a tour of the greater Treelandia region. Getting to go visit a couple places, but also having it be a staycation too. And that is always, in some ways, you know, having that staycation mentality. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have lost my math. My math doesn't fail me. We have 7. Okay. So yes, of course I'm going to be doing, as I said, I'm going to be doing, try to fit in definitely some longer streamage for Monday and Thursday. And if I can, depending on how, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, depending, 8, depending on how IRL things go. In the other regards, I'm hoping to fit in, hopefully, one, if not several extra streams. Mostly because I want to be able to get in that extra stuff. And why do I have a police? What's a police? Police. Blah, blah, blah. Why do I have a bloody piece of gravel? I mean, Flint. Bye, Flint. Go bye-bye. Don't need you. Get some torches. F stack up. And then let's get our non-cobble shulker box. Let's chuck all the loots into it. Yeah, that's something I'm really wanting to do, is get in some extra stream time. We will be doing, if I remember correct, that should be Midwestern Minecraft time, so... So, I'm not quite sure. Let me double check the dates here. Come here, Iron. Come to tree, Daddy. Boop. Let me double check the time here. That way I make sure that I'm... Come on. Yeah, that's going to be Midwestern Minecraft time. That is definitely going to be Midwestern Minecraft time, so I am hoping... I don't have exact plans yet for some of this stuff, but definitely Monday the 18th and Thursday the 21st. I'm hoping to have, on those 2 particular dates, hoping to have some longer scrimmage. And if I can do, like, say, maybe... probably maybe Tuesday and Friday, put in a couple extra streams there. All depends on how things go. If we can get stuff there put in as well, even if it's just, somewhat shorter streams, like 3 hours. That would be a very much appreciated, at least for me, very much appreciated bit of additional content creation. It's not going to happen. I'm at work. I'd be far more likely to get a large delivery. I'd get handed then. I'd be handed less likely, of course, in that regard, to be handed $1 million, no strings attached, and say, "Here, tree, have $1 million. Go bananas with it." In my case, I'd invest the heck out of it. Of course, that's not going to be a thing. But yeah, it's like I said, my coworker said, "Hey, you better check this place out." I was like, "Holy heck, yeah, I gotta go check that place out." And it's God, there's this saying that I'm trying to remember. What in the heck is that saying? It's like something like, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. Or something like that. Jeez, I gotta go up over there now. It's something like that, if you don't learn or study history, you're doomed to repeat it. Or something akin to that, as I said. In this case, it's a couple, from what I've seen of this place, it looks like it's it covers history and all that. It's some of the world's various wars sorts of museum, and how it affected the heartland sort of stuff. And so that is what is drawing me in. How wars can affect, how the history of, say, World War I, World War II affected, the people out here in the Midwest, people who worked the plains, worked in the various factories and ranchers and all that jazz. All those sorts of people. And, that's what's drawn me in, because it's history. That's, why I made 2 trips to the Colorado Railroad Museum, is because, that's history, and I was like, I want to learn more. And so and it's like I said, I've been starting to, that got me thinking back to some of these other museums in this neighboring town that, I could go visit, or at least 1 or 2 of them, in addition to the one I just learned about. I was like, so if I can, get myself set up to where, I leave early, and, I'm able to, get myself enough time to get where I need to get by the time they open, and get myself there, then go to, the next couple museums. There's also a good restaurant they have in this neighboring town that I'm going to go visit too. Planning on making that sort of, the little last hurrah sort of thing. And get myself a little something to eat, because I know they got some good food there. Hello over there, glow squid. But, yeah, make it sort of the last little hurrah for the trip, being, going, come home. Probably get myself, a little something to have later in the evening. A little something on the side, bring home with me. I was like, I might be full, and, whatever fruit I decide to get might smell good, but it's a case of I'm full, I'm saving it for later. White cat should be able to take care of himself. Between, me and my roommates will make sure they'll be at work, undoubtedly. So one of us is going to have to make sure he's fed and watered. Probably have to make double sure on his litter box and all that. Make sure it's clean before I head out. And yeah, I already have a basic plan in place. And it's gonna be a full day. It's gonna be a full day. I'm gonna have to leave a little bit early. Let's see. Trying to remember here. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have to get up about the time I would be wrapping up at the gym, which would be about getting ready about to depart. Getting up about the time I'd be departing the gym, which would be about 07:30 Central Time. And let's see, we are good. We're gonna go to our next 1, 3. Yeah, about 07:30 or so is when I'm planning on getting up. And which is of course the time that I'm usually about to or in the process of actually, leaving the gym after work and going home and all that. And then have some breakfast, make sure I get all my stuff packed. I'm planning on taking a cooler with me with some drinks and a side bag worth of tree snacks. So is that, hey, I don't want to be hungry on my trip. Don't want to be hungry. No sense in being hungry if you're on a trip. That's one of the things I made sure to do when I was on my Denver trip, is made sure to have some snacks with me. Let's see. Do I want to go? Let's go fix this pick. We'll do that. We'll first empty out our shulker boxes here. Oh, that one's full. This one now is also full. Just want to kind of get myself a little bit of an edge there, trying to pull stuff down. So let's see. Oops. Stones and other non-smeltables. Chuck them in here. Chuck these guys, boom, boom. Grab our smeltables. Starting to get there, guys. Also double check. Let's see. That is essentially 7 stacks worth of full iron. There we go. Accidentally pushed the wrong button there. But, yeah, get myself some snacks. Make sure I got some spending money, both cash and card. And make sure to have some fun on this little trip. So you don't have to always, go... Don't always have to go crazy going out and about for a vacation, sometimes doing that staycation sort of stuff can be just as good, if not better. And I don't mind making a little day trip. I do not mind making a little day trip, going out into the local equivalent of the wild blue yonder. Whoa, excuse me, but it felt good. Let's see, boop. So go ahead here. Since we're up here at the head of the smelter, let's see. I'll definitely have by the time we get to the Midwestern Minecraft here. Next week we should have some good stuff to do. Haven't exactly hello there, guys. Haven't exactly fully planned out yet what I want to do. I'm going to work on that. One of the things I have done is I do some more work up here. I do some more work up here. Okay. Where did I put my bricks, blackstone, books. Oh. Gonna have to go get some of that dar iron. Needed. Ow. My roots! My roots! Gonna need to go make a new iron wheel because I want to vent some of these levels. Quickly sleep. One, two, three. 1, 2, 1, 2. Boom. We now have a new iron wheel. But and that's as I said, I got a couple other things planned. Just, poking around Treelandia here in general, sort of thing. That might be an idea. Might be an idea to do. Just gave myself a potential thought there. Let's see here. These two are mutually exclusive. There we go. Get my levels down a little bit there. Well, the idea I just had the thought of. Let's go. Let's head down over here to the Bling Bridge. Is over this direction, specifically that way. That general direction is we got our village, and I just gave what thought popped into my canopy is why not make stupid Enderman is why not go ahead and I've had this idea of at least bringing this little area, this level we're on right here, and bring it down to this level, so that's a little more even. We're gonna have to worry about these birch trees, of course, but essentially make a path going this way, this direction. And put that there. Have it go this, work our way toward the village. Let's see where. Oh, lightning was in this area. Gonna have to clean this area up a little bit. No. Stupid Enderman. There we go. Like, I know there's water over here somewhere. And here's the bridge. Here's the bridge. Okay. So yeah, this is the bridge to the bridge to the village. And so why not, as a project, go ahead, get some dirt, obviously we'll do some terraforming and all that. But get stuff put together and essentially make. For an instant, I thought I saw a horse. Oops. There we go. Make a path. Stupid Enderman. Make a path out this way, and probably, come through and fill in, like, areas like right there. And, basically, work my way through. That is one of the shortest trees I've ever seen in the game. But basically, make a path. Ooh, that might be an idea. Make some of it sandstone. Might be an idea. I'll probably just stick to stone brick. But, like, terraform this a little bit. Bring it down to where I can have a path right through the area, and basically work our way over to the village that we have over here. And it would probably have to be, I'd have to simultaneously work from both ends. I'd go work one side, figure out where I'd want to start over here. And, I'd probably, obviously, start on this level right here and see, that is block 63. So, yeah, probably, till the earth right here. So we get the walkway the way I'd like. And, but that would actually, build an official house over here. Build an official house over here. Do a little bit of terraforming here too. We can do a little bit of preemptive stuff right now. But start, come build myself a house. Probably, a simple house. Somewhere in this, probably right over here would be a little spot. There's the church, so. And let's fix that. That would be I think it would be a good thing to do is, build myself, a simple little house, right over in this general vicinity. And probably, like flatten this little bit here out. Flatten this little here bit out. And just generally start working my way toward stuff here. Like filling this little hill right here, filling this, all this water stuff right there. Fill this in a little bit maybe. Don't have my fortune pick. But basically, just fill it in and just work on a path coming this way. I tried to keep what trees I could, but of course, that would be a little bit difficult, trying to keep things exactly, perfect, but, squirrel my way through all the stuff here, do some filling in here, or, yeah, probably fill in some of this stuff right in here. Once again, don't have my fortune pick. Yeah. Should be, there we go. Oh, jeez Louise. Stupid botanical brethren. But yeah, basically make myself a little path. Or at least start on a path. Probably try to come in and avoid that little bit right there to give the sea turtles some more, to make sure to keep the sea turtles some room. Silly sheep. Again, another stupidly placed block left by an Enderman. Yeah, but I'm thinking that, this right here would be a perfect spot for a bridge. That's where I essentially already got one. Probably cut part way through this desertish, this sandy area. Hello, chicken. That's for leaving an egg behind, you silly jerk. Made it. Yeah, let's sort of been wanting to do some work in this area anyway. So that would be a good little project to get started on, methinks. And we're probably making, the three block SWAT here, so probably have to start, doing with unfortunately causing some havoc for my birch botanical brethren here, so sorry guys, Future Tree is gonna be coming at you with a vengeance. And let's quickly go put these wheat seeds, and let's grab a little bit of this sugar cane while we're at it. Sleeps. Maybe we can make it daytime. While we're here, let's at least harvest the pumpkins. So, of course, their seeds will do very wunderbar for doing bone meal. Okay, I'm missing a... oh, there it is. I was about to say I'm missing a pumpkin. Quickly render these down into, come on, seeds. Always nice to see the composters here at work doing their thing. So it's one of these times where, you know, it's the simple little stuff. Watching doing their stuff. Take this little bit of bone meal we've now gotten, and we will take it and put it in the tree farm. To the tree farm. Boop, boop. The Bling Bridge. You know, it was, you know, I was wanting to go visit the sea ocean monuments, and I wanted to get the dark prismarine here, and I had the thought, oh my god, it would be look, you know, like the patinaed the patinaed copper, and I was like, you know, it's now granted, you know, that's more subdivided than the cut copper, but yes, the inevitable BUTT. Excuse me. It would still be looking fairly, excuse me, look fairly nice. Aha! There we go. Always part of me has always wanted to go fill in this hole in the ground here. It's not much to this hole as I remember. No. Alright, got that done. Got some levels, spent. Yeah, we need to go do some more mining. Need all DOS copper. I mean, not all DOS copper, all DOS irons. Of course. Because I had to go extract XP from the furnaces to fix my pick here. I was like, where's my minecart? Oh, wait, right. We did the furnace so that we could get the XP, and we had to go vent, so... Duh. And hello, Golden. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Tree Grove. All right. Let's go ahead here. Get that there. Let's make sure we're... Oh. Chuck that guy there. Need 2 more stacks of torches. should be it. Yep. Let's go ahead here. And put that there, and boop. Okay, we are ready to resume our stuff. Let's go ahead, head back down further along here. Aha! I beat that bloody gravel. I don't know why Mojang set it up to, at least in my experience, they seem to have set up the spawn rate for raw copper to be in close proximity to granite. Don't know why. 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. And what was that? I was just talking about that. Look at all that. We've already got stacking a bit. 2 stacks of copper. 2 frickin' stacks, guys. Look at that. Oh, well. Yeah. Said, I know I don't technically need to, but, oh, there we go. See, I knew, iron! Yeah, I knew that was coming. No, yeah, the water, yes. The iron, not necessarily. Oops. How's it going, Golden? I hope you're doing wunderbar in your time zone. See, there's that. A little bit of iron right there. Oh. Come on. There we go. Just a word of advice, dude. No self-promoting stuff. I can appreciate the gesture, but coming in and sort of promoting an organization that folks might not have heard of isn't exactly a good way to introduce yourself. Got to do that. Oh, and we got some coal. There we go. that's we'll probably do that construction project. I was thinking that way I could get some extra time next week. That way I can have a little bit of extra time off cam to get some more mining done, so that because what I'm thinking is for vacation week is oh, hello there. We got clay. So we need 3. Let's get those guys quickly out of the way. So 1, 2, 3. Do that. That would be a good thing to next week to work on that road construction project to the village, get a house built, or at least get started on it. And let's see here, get that. Yeah, get that started. So, because what I'm thinking is, come on. Is that way I could get, as I said, get some more mining done, so I can get so that vacation week we can get more have a lot more hoppers and iron on hand for more construction project-y stuff. I really want to get some more work done on the smelter. And speaking of iron, guess what we're on top of? Iron. Give me the iron. Oh, come on. There we go. Landed in a hole. Torches here, so we, oh, back on difficulty there, so that that little extra challenge, of course. More iron in the area. That's probably one of those awkward, only 2 blocks of iron spawn sorts of things. Oh. Didn't even see that when we were building up this thing right here. Of course, in this case, it's a good thing. I'll just fill this all, the rest of this all here in. least we got almost a stack so far. That's a good start. And more iron. This is why I like using Fortune Pick now that they've make iron and gold behave like copper. Oh. Duh. Looks like 2 patches here of iron, which I want. There we go. Another one of those, sorts of spawns. Only 2 blocks in fairly decent close proximity, but that's all we get. Quickly. That'll be a very nice little thing to do over vacation, would be to get some work done on the smelter. Especially having a few extra streams in which to be able to go do that sort of work. Sounds like we got up here the more glow squids in that area pocket above us. So that's, this is one of those things that I don't really like about what Mojang's done. Excuse me. Let's go ahead here. Come on, tree. Sometimes, you know, the roller on your mouse can be so freaking sensitive. Right there, right quick. Oh, we don't want the anvil. The anvil's not going to do us much good. Just swimming over here to the other side. Oh. Might be lucky we might not have to worry about doing quite so much. It all depends. And if we do have to do some, I don't think it'll be too difficult. So that's 4. So yeah, we need to on. Let's see here. Myself a little air pocket right here. Go. There you go. I was like, where'd you go, silly torch? And I was like, oh, there you are. There you are. Don't be a dum-dum, silly little torch. Our little air pocket again. Oops, come on, silly center wheel. Yep. Once again, I just found myself thinking about the many moons ago. Many moons ago. How you know, how I thought, you know, when I was at, you know, Tree Parents' place, how I thought, you know, dial-up was the cool, even though I'd had broadband experience at school, how I thought dial-up for home internet browsing was the coolest thing ever. Okay. Who did I not block off here? It was you. Ah! Poked a hole in my own wall. We'll leave those shulker boxes there for now. Due in part. Yeah, we're clear on this side. Come here, you piece of cobble. Let me resurface here. Go ahead and come on. Oh, come on. There you go, tree. We have to make sure we put up some illumination on our dark track there to the our current left, which will be the right going out, left coming back. Trying to make it, you know, every other what's it? Dirt path, so is that okay. Thing. Oh, hello there, baby slime. Give me your ball. Thank you. All right. Alright, slime ball right there. Oh, and got to grab another stack of torches. Let's tally-ho here to the end here, and we will dig on. God, what's that song? There's suddenly think of the. Oh God, what is that song? Now think of this old. God, what was the group? Blanking out here for a sec. It'll come to me. Hopefully my train of thought will figure out what the song is. Carry On. God, who's the artist on that song? Who is the artist I'm thinking of? Gosh darn it. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. That was it. That was it. You see, it took my tree brain a moment there. So let's see. Stills, Nash and Young. That was the song I'm trying to think of. There's the link to the Wikipedia article. I was trying to think of. I was like, what was that song? You know, just walking there, and I was like, and saying what I said. I was like, God, what was that song? The reason I learned of that song was because. When I worked at the grocery store, don't know why I said stores. That was one of the songs that played over the intercom. You know, a lot of stores these days, including my Home Depot store, they usually have some sort of music playing, you know, to help shoppers in their shopping experience. And I don't remember which manager it was that chose that particular digital radio station, whatever you want to call it. But that one was a fairly frequent song. They would, sometimes they get changed to, have a little mix-up. Especially when, like right now with the holidays coming on. The transition over to, like Christmassy, New Year's, those sorts of songs. And, but for much of the rest of the year, I was one of I guess you call it the 60s, 70s sort of station. Of course, not being, in a managerial position, I wouldn't know what the managers and store owner would do to the, what subscription service they would do. But that was obviously one of the preferred channels. And some of those songs, from that time period are very, very good. They've, one of the bands, that I'm now kind of thinking of is a group called VNV Nation, meaning Victory Not Vengeance. And me personally, having been trained by tree parents to, like classical music, I'm not generally a big fan of a lot of contemporary music, but VNV Nation I have found is one of those groups that is very good, at least in my opinion. Let's see here. Let's get the andesite out of the way. Let's get the granite. I mean the gravel. Speaking of gravel, more gravel! Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. There we go. Vented are gravels. Now, like I said, not really much into contemporary music, as much contemporary music as a lot of people these days, you know, like Taylor Swift or anybody like that. But let's see. But I have found that it's an act done by Ronan Harris. He's got a very distinctive voice, and I find that I like it. He's got a very good singing voice. He's got a fairly nice timbre, and he can, you know, his vocal range is pretty nice. Let's see here. Put that there. Yeah, I'm a real big fan, quite honestly, of soundtracks, especially good soundtracks. Yeah, that was a dumb maneuver. Silly granite has to get in the way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up. Ah, dumb. Actually, listening to some of that, some VNV Nation as I was running my errands today, actually. Let's go ahead here. We'll come down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Wunderbar. Hello, Iron. Come to Tree Daddy. There we go. Oops. Distracted. Thought I heard White Cat mewing, and nope. He's just currently laying down on my bed, being a little sleep master. Of course, I say something, and he instantly wakes up and starts Giving himself some scritches on the neck. Actually, I had to take him to the vet last week and have his annual checkup, and turns out he'd been acting a little bit weird lately. Oh, just a second. I happen to mention White Cat, and he gets up. So, just a sec, guys. Gonna let him out. Just a sec. I'm also going to quickly go use the little trees room. Just a sec, guys. Sorry about that, guys, but when you need to go, you need to go. Urgh. Being a tree, I am more than fully aware of how Mother, in some ways, I'm more than fully aware of how Mother Nature works. You know, that's got me thinking back to Age of Mythology and Age of Mythology Retold, how a lot of civilizations over the years have some sort of concept of a mother goddess or an earth goddess. For example, in AOM Retold, we have Gaia of the Titans. And, when I was first playing AOM many, many years ago, and I finally, was able to have my very first computer, that way, Trebro and I weren't having to always squabble over, I want to play video games. No, I got to do homework, sort of thing. That way we could each of us having our own computer was beneficial. And, of course we would have, it was like, so long as we could play video games, so long as we did our homework first. That was always the rule. And, but yeah, that was one of the things that happened. And it was so interesting to, see when AOM Retold came out, to see the difference between OG AOM Gaia and Retold Gaia. It was in the original Titans, she's depicted, as a human female, whereas in Retold, she is depicted as a humanoid plant, a feminine humanoid plant. And in some ways, that could be argued as a little bit more, in some ways, realistic. Of course, the symbolism of a humanoid mother in this case is also fitting. Because that's what a lot of cultures did, to my understanding. Oh, come on. That's right. Let's see how I was about to say. Dirt. Oh, wait, right. Duh. Figured that was coming. And we got ourselves some coal. A tree! The goof there, son. Gosh darn it. Oh, iron! Gosh darn it, we're just hitting all these little points to where causing leaks all over the place. And all I want to do is just put up a torch. Was thinking, it was like, can I successfully block that off and not have it be in the way? And I was like, nope. There we go. Don't see any leaking, so that's a wunderbar sign. Should put that right there. Oh. Of course I slept. Of course I slept. I think what we'll do is one last little dealio here, guys. Side gallery. And then we'll call it a stream. What time is it? Might just go ahead and call it once we get stuff organized, actually. That way I can... iron! Don't forget that guy. More iron. Iron! Now, talking about mother goddesses and all that, or goddesses of the earth, it's got me thinking about the Lotus War trilogy by J. Kristoff, and features steampunk version of feudal Japanese mythology, and how things for the Shaman Empire aren't doing so hot. But of course, they kind of brought that on themselves, due in part to the Lotus Guild. Let's see. 3 or 4. Oh. I'm gonna need. We'll go ahead and end stream. It's we need to take care of a couple little things before I head off to bed. I want to make sure I get up a little bit early to take care of a few more chores before stream tomorrow. I want to preferably try and get stream going at 5 o'clock U.S. Central Time. Let's see here. Like I said, I got a couple errands that I gotta... errands and or chores I gotta take care of. Gather up all this stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Check that there. Check these here. Quickly take care of the clay balls. Oh, don't forget your metals and coal. We go drop off these clay balls. Hey Overlord, how you doing? Hope you're doing wunderbar in your time zone and your Landia. Yeah, I'm really wanting to get some, oh jeez, I just realized that I was a dum-dum. I re-put this furnace here down. I should have left it downstairs. Oh well. Alright. And we'll quickly head back over to the end of mine shaft so I can get ready for the next run. Yeah, part of me is, I'll be honest, guys. Part of me really wishes I could be, you know, many, many years ago when I wasn't having to be quite so responsible for stuff. I guess that's part of why I would want to, you know, move out to the. I was talking earlier about potentially moving out to Colorado. I mean, heck, I could, you know, here in the Midwest, you know, I'm certain I could find a good area, you know, that's a more rural area that would be more attuned to what I would want to do with my life. You know, not have to worry about so much about the grind of life and getting having the chance to not have to worry about feeling so worked up about work, you know, or an easier work, as it were. That's why, you know, I wish I had the money to be a full-time content creator, do a lot more video production. But of course, you know, like I said, it's, you know, I've done a little bit of lottery playing, and it's always in the house's favor. I wouldn't be able to, you know, strike $1 million and, you know, not have to worry about that sort of thing, because unfortunately it's just not would eventually not be it's the sort of thing that, you know, wouldn't work out. Would not work out. I got these guys a little more sorted, so let's see here. Oh. 31 there, plus however many blocks there. But yeah, I would just love to not have to worry such a go lifestyle. Like I said, it's not that I don't believe in work. I do. But it's a case of I want to work something that I'm passionate about, and I love. That's why I started streaming. That is why I started streaming. I have found that, you know, there's this old video I saw on Newgrounds back in the day by the former user Cirrus Epics. Unfortunately, his channel no longer, his profile there on Newgrounds no longer exists. I'm not sure if there's anywhere off the top of my canopy where you could find this particular video. But it was a video he entitled "The Only Thing I Know." And he talked about how gaming, you know, he was an educator, an art educator. I don't remember if he was like elementary, junior high, middle school, or senior high or high school. It's not high school. But one of this video talked about how gaming, you know, after work, you know, it would consume his life, you know, it took away time from his family and all that, and how it, you know, sort of ruined his relation. You know, he could have been doing self-improvement. He could have, you know, gone back to, you know, improved his education to, you know, help his schooling out, improved his relationships, spent time with his family. You know, with where I am, part of the impetus, amongst many reasons, for me streaming, content creating, is to show off what I am doing and to bring my gaming experience to the world. That is part of the reason why I do streaming and content creation. And if I was more financially secure, which, as I've said plenty of times, I am not, I would do a lot more content creation. That is why, here in a couple weeks, I'm wanting to get in a couple extra Minecraft streams. So as that, you guys get to see a little bit more of what I do. That is only going to be a fraction of all the gaming I've done. And part of Cirrus Epic's video is that, as he was making the video, and he was said, I'm going to give up games. That way I could do more art stuff, do some better work on my career, improve my relationships, all that. He also realized how much gaming could bring together people and actually forge communities, as well as be more detrimental, which is what his experience was. And that is another reason why I have gone into content creation. Is so as that I can share my gaming experiences and share some of my IRL experiences and not feel like I'm in a room all by myself, feeling low about myself. That is part of the reason why I have been doing the streaming stuff. That is why for example, when we're doing active, Let's Play Titan Quest stuff, this is why I do Minecraft Mining Livestreams. So as that, resources, resources, you get to see, and that is one of the benefits of being able to be a streamer, is that you can reach out and talk to people around the world and, fellow gamers, and you can literally provide feedback and influence to them. So anyway, yeah, I do need to go take care of myself. So let's go ahead here. Let us see who, if anyone, is live. So, if you are watching here on Twitch at twitch.tv/OsageOrange, please remember to go ahead and hit that follow button. Oh, I think I see somebody we can go say hi to. And if you're watching over on the YouTubes at youtube.com/OsageOrangeGame, please remember to go ahead and leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave a like and hit that bell icon for notifications. It really does help. So I have found for us our raid target. We're going to go say hi to Twitch Duke Firebird over at twitch.tv/Duke Firebird. So go and select our holiday raid message, which is: the Tree Grove has arrived to bring you eggnog, tinsel, mistletoe, and good holiday cheer. Hope to catch you guys later today, Monday, and as well as Thursday for another couple episodes of Let's Play Titan Quest Season 3. Saturday, and of course this will be our bookmarker week for that. Saturday will be another episode of City Building Saturdays and Caesars 3/Augustus. Next Monday will be next Sunday will be our bookmarker episode of Midwestern Minecraft Mining Livestreams, and a week from today we'll be going back into Midwestern Minecraft. So let's go ahead here. Let's get this raid party started. I appreciate everybody who's come out, and I hope to catch y'all in the next episode. Ta-ta for now.